Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review, where we're going to continue taking a look at the Toybiz Marvel Legends Sinister 6 box set. Doc Ock, which technically isn't from the box set, but this is actually the Spider-Man Classics Doc Ock figure. But let's be honest, I'm going to put him here, and then I'm going to put a picture of the one that comes in the box set right here, if I can remember. And as you can see in the picture, this guy has his suit's darker color. He doesn't have this this belt. The goggles are slightly different. The face sculpt is different. The hand colors are different. The lab coat, the biggest difference is his lab coat. This guy has a rubbery. His lab coat is rubbery. The arms are actually sculpted on, and they're painted to be the color of the coat. Whereas this guy, he has a fabric one. If you take off his coat, you can see the green arms underneath. That's the one benefit of this guy, but I still prefer the look of this guy. Let's put that guy away. I somehow managed to lose the Doc Ock. I don't know how I did that, but I lost him. But a few months before I got this guy. So my theory is I ended up losing that one because I even as a kid, I liked this one more, and I think I lost the other Doc Ock because I don't think I liked it as much, so I somehow lost it. I don't know what happened to it, but I'm glad I have this one, which I think this one's a lot better. You could say this is superior. I'm going to set them aside really quick, and I have the packaging for this. Some figures, I don't know why my mom saved the packaging for me, and I'm glad she did. So you can see here on the picture, his goggles, they're not transparent. They're just like silvery lenses, where on the other one, they're transparent. His hair color is darker, and the lab coat's the same, everything else is the same. I think the picture's just darker. It's not HD, it's kind of like low quality. Dr. Octopus with bend and pose tentacles. You can see the good old Toybiz logo down there.
Armed with a bevy of bone-crushing steel tentacles, Dr. Octopus has dedicated his warped genius to the eradication of his most hated foe, the Amazing Spider-Man.
I miss the days when you could walk into a toy store and you would see these kind of packages on the shelves. And I love this Doc Ock as a kid. Very kind of funky face. You can lift the glasses and see his face. He's not looking straight at us. He's looking kind of to the right, I think. You can see his tongue in there. You can see his teeth. Very funny. I don't know why, but they even sculpted the line on the tongue. He's kind of chubby. You can see wrinkles on his face there. He's got your typical nerdy glasses here. They're transparent looking. You can't see much of the eyes through it. Come on, focus. Like, you can't see his eyes through it because they're a little too high up. They're kind of crooked and they don't go down. But I kind of like that you can lift the goggles up and see his eyes. I don't want to break off the goggles, but I feel like they could. There's his bowl cut, his nerdy bowl cut hair. For the close-up, I'm actually going to take this off. You can see he's got this belting that looks kind of like the gears for a VHS or a film roll. Film roll. It doesn't continue all the way through the figure, which I'm totally fine with. It ends there. Also, his suit does have some kind of texturing. Like, you can see the texture mostly there on the groin. You can see a little bit here, but on the torso, it's not very noticeable. Kind of looks like he's wearing like a, what's it called? Can't remember the name of that clothes, but it's the one that's like, it goes all the way to the neck. And then also here you can see he's got this wire all over it, and that's because my mom did this for me as a kid, where I would always complain that the tentacles would fall off, because all the tentacles, when you screw them on, they don't screw on too well. Like, this is one thing that Toybiz didn't know back when they were doing this, where all the figures, when you put them on, all the tentacles would droop down like that. Whereas you see mine, they're kind of sticking up a bit, and that's because, come on camera, focus, that's because when you plug them in the back, they don't stay on too good. They wiggle around, they're loose. And then also the tentacles, because they're not heavy, they're very light, but because there's just tiny little wires inside all of this, so it's really easily bendable. But because it's so easily bendable, the connections here aren't strong enough to hold the tentacles up, so they droop. Like, you see how this one kind of droops down? So my mom put wire here to hold this together so they would kind of fall off the back, and then she also super glued the tentacles into his back, which I'm completely fine with, because you're typically never going to remove Dr. Octopus's tentacles unless you're doing like an origin, I guess. Like, if you're playing with these figures and you're doing like some kind of origin story. But yeah, she did that, and this one here doesn't really do much. And also you can see here there's looks like a pipe cleaner, like a fuzzy thing down here. That's because my mom also put a pipe cleaner on this and a couple other ones, because this is like very thin, rubbery material. If you were to like poke this with scissors, or like if you were to poke this with scissors or scratch it hard enough, the tentacle would probably rip, and that's what happened on this one and this one. I think it happened to all four, where the wire inside of this was coming out. So she super glued a piece of pipe cleaner there and painted it silver, and it holds them on so the wire doesn't come out. Kind of like to secure it back on. Let's take a look at the individual pinchers, or the grabbers, the hands. I guess they would technically be fingers of the claws because they're arms. You can see there's a little circle there in the middle, and you can open up the tentacles. They're not like, this is more like the 60s era Doc Ock rather than like the modern one, or like the one from Spider-Man 2 where the tentacles each have like posable fingers and each one has like a groove. This was more like just kind of like grab Spider-Man's hands, because you probably couldn't scale a wall like this, like the Raimi Doc Ock could. Also, take a look at the coat here. He's got some pockets there. You can see the neck part for the coat. You can see his buttons there. He's got another pocket here. It also has this blue shading over it, which in the lighting you can't really notice the blue shading because the lighting looks kind of blue. There's some more bluish on the arm. You can actually see some of the green from here, but who cares about that? He's got a little badge here, which it doesn't have writing. It looks kind of just like a... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. I hiccuped. Sorry. He's got orange boots, which I like this design. Or even classic Doc Ock didn't have the coat, but I like that they went for this route rather than, just giving him like the typical green suit with yellowy orange gloves. Camera. It says 1999 Marvel Toybiz. I don't know if it says 1999 if this was released in 2004. That's kind of strange to me. Tentacles, each tentacle has a crapload of articulation. Technically, it's not articulation, just more like you can bend these tentacles anywhere. I just can't bend them here anymore, but that's why they were secured, because if you bend them close to here, the wire will break, or it'll just come off the back and they'll be all droopy. So that's why my mom put that wire there. Pretty nice. Shout out to my mom. Pretty cool that you can bend these tentacles all the way around. You can bend them however you want, something like that. However, if you do that, he can't stand up because the tentacles don't have the gripping kind of thing. But if you were to do something like this, I think that looks pretty cool right there. The articulation on this guy is very meh. Out of all the figures in this box that you have, this guy definitely has the least amount of articulation, but I feel like it's perfectly fine with Doc Ock, considering you get 4 bendable tentacles that technically, if you want to be technical, these tentacles have infinite articulation, because you could bend this in so many positions. You have like infinite potential bending this figure, or bending the joints. That low articulation on a Doc Ock, to me, it's kind of fine. Yeah, it'd be nice to have more articulation, but you can't have everything, The head would rotate all the way around, but the coat gets in the way. The arms rotate all the way around. They go up. They don't go up all the way. They go up about halfway because the coat, or actually no, because you can see the joint, the mold for the joint to go up ends right there. I don't know, the camera's not focusing. He has a single bend in the elbow, rotation in the hand all the way, and you can actually see they sculpted on the grooves in his palms. They even sculpted on the fingernails, which I feel like this is something Hasbro wouldn't do. But Toybiz, they sculpt fingernails. His rotates all the way here in the waist. It gets kind of stuck on his coat, but you can rotate it all the way around. The legs kick up pretty good. They actually kick up differently. Like this leg is kind of pointed. It's kind of pointed outwards, whereas this one goes straight up. And then if you bend this, it kind of bends inward, whereas this one bends straight down. The foot, since his foot is tilted this way, it kind of moves different compared to this one. And also, one thing I forgot is you can see the figure has some minor cracking in there, and that's because, and it fell off the tree fort, and it broke. All of the figures in this box set had some minor wear and tear to them, considering how long I've had these for over 16 years. So this figure, he's not from the box set, but let's be honest, they could have just put him in the box set and that would have worked perfectly fine. I prefer the design of this guy over the other one much, much more, but that's going to be all for this review. I will see you guys in the next review. Also, like this video, and let me know what you think about this Doc Ock figure, and let me know what you think about the Doc Ock figure that comes in the actual box set. I don't know how I lost a whole Doc Ock figure, but I'm glad I have this one that basically is the one from the box set. But that's going to be all for this review. I will see you guys in the next one.